Right guys, today we're going to start off this week by creating these tonal strips for warm colours. You can pick any warm colours that you like straight from the palette, whether it's primary or even secondary, it's okay. And you're also going to demonstrate two cool colours. Now if you look at our colour wheel, this is what our colours should be, and this is the how we figure out which ones are our warm colours. You've got these clear section here with yellow, orange and red, which are all your warm colours, and the opposite side should be your green, blue and purple, which are your cooler colours. Now starting off with one warm or one cool, this is what we're going to do. Very quickly we're going to go ahead and draw some grids. So we want to create those strips, and I'm just going to demonstrate very quickly. This should not take too long, and how it can be. Find a section on your color theory page where we've been demonstrating our color wheel, how to mix secondary colors and so on, where we're going to be demonstrating these. Okay, find any space, and if you run out of space, use the page next to it on your double page. I'm happy to come around and show you where that can be. Just need to create one more section. Like so, and it should not take too long. You can have it as long, big or even small as you like. There is no restriction. I'm just going to work off that. Now you're probably like, why have you extended it? It's okay, well, I'm just drawing some guidelines. I can rub that out very easily. It's only pencil. So starting off with this section, I'm going to start off with a primary color, and I'm going to zoom ahead and do the rest as well. I'm going to start off with a primary or secondary, doesn't really matter actually. I'm going to start off with my warmer color. So I'm going to use this orange straight from the palette. You don't have to mix it. Just going to keep it a little bit easier today, and I'm just going to go ahead, hold this like a hold my paintbrush more like a pencil or a pen. You do want to hold it closer to the front to have that control. I'm going to do the same thing, and I'm going to twist my paintbrush to really get that nip, to kind of get that tip and twist. The reason we're twisting is to also help us to create really good accuracy in our work. We want to have neatness in our work, especially with our outline. We don't want it to go outside the box too much, and this is how you can do it. Now this is not the only tip I would say. Move your paper around. It really helps to move your paper around. Don't be stuck in one angle. It is very awkward for your hand. Now as I'm moving that color down, I want to make sure, I want to be wary that I'm not taking it too down. If I look at that section there, I'm just going to adjust that so you can see a little bit more clearly. I don't want to take that color all the way down, because I do want it to gradually get lighter and lighter and lighter like that. So what I'm going to do is a really important tip here. I'm going to wash my paintbrush, make sure that color is off, make sure that orange is off, and then you can either tap it or even just take that excess water off. You don't want too much water on your paintbrush, damp enough that you can keep working on it, but not too wet. I'm going to go back in. You really want to work on this while it's still wet, not too, your paints are now dry. I'm going to go back in and just spread that color down. All the way, not all the way down, just midway. And ideally you want to do this one more time, or as many times as you like. So I'm only going to do it one more time after this. I'm going to move it down to this point. I'm going to stop, wash my paintbrush, take any color that might be on, tap it dry so it's not too watery, and then I'm just going to push that down all the way. So you should really have one side of your tonal strip where your color is very intense. You can see how intense that orange is, and then as we look down to the opposite side, it gets more pale, and that's what you want. You want it to get lighter, more pale in color. So I'm just going to go ahead and spread that down, and you can play with it as long as you like, especially if you've got watercolor paper. If you don't have watercolor paper, I suggest that you don't keep working on it again and again. Your paper will fray. So once I'm done with that, I'm going to go back in with my orange, and all I'm going to do is just drop it in at the start there where the color needs to be very vibrant, very intense, and just pick up on that pigment. Now what I don't want to do is just take it all the way down again. I'm going to wash my paintbrush, tap it dry so there's no color on that, and then I'm just going to smudge it down. Just kind of bring it down And if you see any blotches like that creating, just wash your paintbrush, tap it dry, really take off that water. Scrape as much as you can off and just go back in and tap. Tap, and you can push that paint or even that water kind of being collected on your page down. I like to dot it down, and you can have it as you like. I quite like it quite blotchy like this and having that effect, but it's up to you. Your paper will start to kind of get a little bit wobbly, but that's fine, and you can leave it as this. And what we're going to do for our second attempt, we can do our secondary color, we can do our cool colors, but I'm going to do these two sections warm, these two sections